Well, as of today, I've decided that these videos can go pretty fast because the last one is currently uploading to YouTube as I record this one and get ready to carve. So we're going to do the same little step we did in the last one on these other two cardinals. And I say that this comes to be a day when progress becomes sufficient to us. You know, with little work we have to do, we see how little times in our lives we got little things we work about to do, and then kind of make it so we see a little brighter light, brighter day coming to us our way, and then we come down to the point where we're going to make it the doggone rest of the way. I say there's been a lot of places I've been lately, and I will tell you all that even over at McLeod's Coffee House, things have changed around there. Some furniture has sold, other furniture has been moved in. Sometimes I tell you all that even as far as having sitting places goes, it changes around a little bit. There comes times in my life where I do a little less of what I used to, you know. I say that these days, as I get busier in life, I get to where there's some things I can handle much less. It used to be when I was younger, there were things that was easy to be around, but I think ever since COVID, there's been some changes in things. Little people and times have changed since that, and kind of got us to the point where there got to be some more people over that time that didn't want to work. It's kind of gotten to the point where kids are just a whole lot more freely spoken than they used to be, and so there's just a lot of little changes taking place, you know. Finally, we come around here, take care of the little head, and then make it so it's going to be just in line as to where it's going to need to be, and then work along these little arrows and lines. And I say we kind of got the head triangled out, and just make the rest of the lines so they're gonna go the rest of the way, and then see how, of all things we do, working our ways about things. I say make it so we come along, have the little design just like how the little cardinal is going to make it so it's going to have a little shining back for all it's going to be, and then finally get a little ways down to what we really are going to be most of all in the end really be needing. So finally we got the work done this far. I say as of what's next, we're going to carve these little crowns again, make it so the crowns are going to hang to the top, be a little bit of a little cool way of a crown to go, making it so that little cardinals shall see brighter lights, brighter images. Oh, for the work we do, and we are going to be truly working into this, kind of make it so the grain is going to flow, make itself into us, bring itself out of us. I say, this is just a little ways we go about this work, make it so it's going to be a little brighter light in our world. I say, it's just how this little cardinal shall make its way along, and I say that this was just how we do. I've always heard old myths about cardinals. They say that when such a bird comes around, that it's kind of like how that they just are like a loved one coming back from heaven to visit you. I mean, I'd say we're all entitled to our own beliefs about that. We all have our own beliefs about angels too. Some people believe that humans and angels are two different creations from God. Other people believe that angels are your loved ones who have died before you, that are watching on you down from heaven. I believe that there's a lot of different views in this world. We all see things a little differently from one of us to the next. Sometimes there are things that the Bible isn't specific about, but we know that we live in a society where we just kind of respect each other's views. Let it be known what we all see and think of each other. You know, for this little light shall brighten our days and make us see nights and days to come. I tell y'all that, oh, a little work shall be made unto us, and I tell y'all, like, what little work we have, I say, it's just the times in our lives when we do little works. I want to say that there's areas of my town, and they all got different names. There's like a little rehabilitation center over close by near my neighborhood. It's called Cardinal Hill, and fairly close to a place called Cardinal Valley. Cardinal Valley is kind of like a little subdivision, and it's kind of also, in a way, kind of like a little subdivision in my English-speaking town where a lot of people speak Spanish. I've been around that area enough times and seen enough items out there and seen a lot of items out there that have Spanish names on them for what they are. And I'd say for all I'm finding out there, it's just kind of little things that I see, for things that might even be things in my younger years I loved, such as little cowboy boots and cowboy shirts and stuff. Interest kind of changes as we grow older, and we kind of outgrow old things and move on to the new. And these days, I tell you all, there's so much more that I see. I mean, there's probably been things I've wanted all my life, couldn't afford when I was younger, but these days I get online and find it on Etsy. I think we kind of went a little too much here. We kind of work down on these wings now, but I'd say there's probably a place or two where we're going to try to, put just little bit of extra work in. You know, they kind of show you all on here a way that we need to kind of, yeah, carve out the wing tips. That's what I see. And like I said, I'm following the book because this is probably a pattern I've had less experience with than many others. So we go along with the book to carve it like it needs to be done and see how a little work shall come along our way, make it so we see brighter years, brighter days, nicer nights. I tell y'all that this is just one little work I say, you know, and as for these lines we draw to make the underside of the wings, that's just how cardinals are going to come out for the long ways. We finally got the lines in here. We got lines here, we got lines here, and we got lines here. So, as of a little bit of work we do now, I might even go ahead, add a little extra length to this video and work along that. There is actually a place where, you know, you use a little curved gouge, as he does, a gouge with a curved shaft to kind of like work along and kind of curl out the tail underneath, but that's a part that I just kind of tend to skip. It's, I'd say, probably a harder one to do, and interesting little things was that there were certain gouges I probably put on my Christmas list years ago, back in 2008, and received them as my gifts because I first of all saw them in the book, saw that they were contingent to certain projects, and decided I wanted them so I could do the certain projects with them I wanted to do. It sometimes, I tell y'all, we didn't put labels on them, and so that was why they just didn't come out the best way they could. But when we did sort of do a little measurement, and I sort of did a little measurement out with the ruler to see how many millimeters they were, as I looked them back up in the book, and probably would say I came down to having the right ones for the right projects, for what it all needed to come down to being, and finally that's just what the work was meant to do, meant to be. Oh, I say, we've got a little line across here, and we've got little places to go along and make it so that we have it a little more flattened out in the end. This is how we come out with the undersides of the wings. I say that this is just what we're coming down to doing. I think with this little step, I'll add it on next. Try to take it into this video, but I think this step we might just only practice it on one or two little cardinals, and then we might have to move on to the next one. And so I say the work is making its way down to where we're going to finish it and get down to the work that we need it to be, I say. And this is where it's going to find its way in for us, make its way out for us. I say that this is just the kind of thing we do all along here. Try to narrow this out now. Make it so it's flatter on the inside. Come down to where we're going to carve out a couple more lines down here. Go below the wings to do a little bit extra more work like we always kind of need to do here, and see how this little cardinal buddy is gonna come out, and finally see where this is going to lead us on to the next little thing I say. And this little work shall guide us on along the way. I'm probably getting this video to about its average length again, the way I've done videos in the past, make them about 15 minutes long, some of them even been 20 or 25, but I'd say yes for this little cut. We're working our way along with it and finally get down to where we see just where the wings need to be. I say that these are just little birds that go like a feather to us, and finally we get down to where with all we have we just make our little way, and then we're gonna cut it off here. Try to give this video a little time to upload and try to move on to the next little project after that. Not the next project, but I'd say probably the next step to this one. But there's probably going to be plenty more to go about that we're going to find out, we're going to do, and that's what it's all going to come down to being. So I want to thank you all again for watching, and take care.